top floor. Very often this wall just here is reinforced, so what I've done is I've brought Hibana. It's a really good tip for Hibana because this pretty much opens up an entire line of sight that you wouldn't normally have. As you can see by peeking in between these boxes just here, you can get a line of sight all the way down to the door in the kids' dorms. Because of the tiny little pixel that's created, I mean it's not ridiculously small, so you still get quite a good view. But as you'll hear Turtle saying here,
I can't actually see you, I'll be completely frank with you.
He can't even see me. My shots ring all the way through to the kids' dorms. It's a really good spot, and if I go ahead and look at it from the other way, you can quite clearly see it's very, very difficult to spot anyone that's there. As soon as you start shooting, your traces are going to come out, and even if people do know that you're there, it's a very difficult angle for them to contend because there's no cover for them. If you station someone here and then you have someone like a Glaz on the double window, 3/4 of the site is immediately locked down and all rotations just cannot happen. It makes it very, very difficult for teams. Now obviously I have brought Hibana for this. If they haven't reinforced the wall, you could do it with anyone. You could do it with Sledge, Ash.
I think something about this a really long time ago, but we're going to go ahead and check it out anyway. So if you're defending the kitchen, if you've won a few rounds, it's all gone horribly wrong now because you're defending the kitchen and the dining room. This single wall just over here, you can either impact grenade it or shoot it. I'll show you the shooting in a minute. But it gives you a line of sight to that single door, which is very heavily contested 9 times out of 10. See this angle just here through this pipe? You can see that door from the bathroom. This is insane. It's like a tiny little pixel peek. It's a really good angle, and it's very, very difficult for attackers to contest. You can sit really far back in the bathroom, and as you can see from this here, Rob is just through there. It took 2 shots. The first one hit the bomb, the second one tapped him in the head, and he had no idea about it. Now as you can see here, I am shooting this open. I've used 2 mags to shoot an entire line in the wall just by getting up close with the MP5. Having an ACOG is going to be very beneficial in this angle. Chuck some barbed wire down so you can hear anyone trying to push in on you, and then just assume the position at the back of the bathroom. This is so effective. I've actually tried crouching here, opening up a lower section of the wall so I'm even more obscure and hidden. You can move not to the very back because you can't actually see anything, but the cubicle just next to it. You're hidden from the single door to your left. You've got a line of sight onto the door, and anyone trying to peek that is going to have a hard time seeing you, unless of course it's Glaz and his banana scope. To show you from the opposite side, the attackers coming in from this way, they've got a lot of angles to cover. They've got the double door just in through the dining room. They've obviously got to do a quick sweep of the area just to their right as they come in. Make sure that's all clear. You don't know unless you've droned it, and then as soon as you stick your head in, it's taken off. Now, Rob missed a couple of those shots, and even still, it was very, very difficult to spot where he was. But it's a really effective angle. Even if I didn't know he was there, to be able to contest that, he's got the advantage. If you take someone like Echo with a suppressor and an ACOG, you can sit there tap firing for as long as you want really. Anyone that comes anywhere near the door, you can just put a couple of shots down. They won't have an exact trace marker of where it's coming from. They won't be able to see that. And anyone's head that comes through that door, they're going to have a bit of a rough time. Hopefully these tips help you out in some way, shape or form.
2-for-1 special. You will have seen in that last clip, Junus was actually playing this spot as mirror. If you blink, you will miss it during the game. Now, I know most of you are thinking, well, that mirror spot there, everyone knows about that. That's quite common. It's a good way to protect the bedroom. Yes, it is. But the really interesting thing that he had set up was this. He shotgunned all of the floor just in front of the mirror so he could keep an eye on the double door downstairs. Now, we tried it crouching down, and in hindsight, it was actually better standing. I should have just watched the pros. I didn't pay enough attention to it the first time round. You can do it at a crouched mirror, but realistically speaking, standing actually gives a lot better line of sight. But as you can see, as Dom is trying to push into the downstairs double door, I can keep an eye on him. And this is going to work for both upstairs, downstairs, some really nice little ideas and stuff there. And I want to showcase a couple of them with you today. I know this is top 3 tips of the week. We're actually going to do 4 because I wanted to show 2 of these. They're pretty much in the same vein. But as you can see, if you open that wall just behind me, and then go ahead and shotgun all of this floor just in front. This was a way that Mockit were pretty much trying to control these white stairs, or at least get a visibility of anyone that was pushing up. So once you've shotgunned all of this, you don't have to open it up too much, but just to get enough of a line of sight, go ahead and reinforce the wall in the kids' dorms. And once that is done, you want to go ahead and set up your normal rotations as most teams would have them. From there, as you can see, I can clearly see anyone that's pushing up the white stairs. I can potentially tag them, and that's with a reflex sight. If you put someone with an ACOG there, you're going to have a field day. But anyone trying to push up those stairs, even if you miss all of your shots, you have really good intel that they are coming up those white stairs, and you can affect the game in that way. Anyone trying to push up the white stairs, again, you're creating another angle for them to try and cover, and that makes things really difficult when you're trying to push. Certainly as an attacker, if you're trying to get up these stairs, you're going to be trying to cover that single door up there. You're going to be worried about people running out from there, and for someone to be on your left, that's another angle to be scared of. We tried messing around with a mirror and put a mirror on there just to see what the line of sight was. You don't necessarily need to be mirror playing behind it, but as you can see, from the relative safety of this, I can keep an eye on those stairs and I can light people up. I can just peek out and land a few shots. Come up to the top of this section here and break this box just down there. It allows you to stand further over into the corner, and from there you can break the window. Cheers, Destruction, you're a brilliant help. But you get a really good line of sight through the tree onto that area where people will spawn, and as you can see, there is someone just through there. This allows you plenty of time because they usually run in this direction to try and get around the actual white van that is there so that they can concentrate on opening the front door, opening the hatch, potentially pushing down the basement stairs. It's a really common area, very high traffic, so this spawn peak is incredible. Even if you don't manage to kill anyone, just lighting a couple of people up with very, very minimal chance of actually getting shot yourself could put your team in a really strong position. If the attackers are starting to enter the building with 30 or 40 HP less than they started with, you're going to be onto a bit of a winner right there.
Between the bomb and the wall to the outside window, you can counter that by getting into this position, and you can get a pixel angle on that bomb spot and take out the enemy sitting there.
Soft 2 bullets, you can shoot straight through it and hit anyone on the other side of it. Something to be aware of. But also, if you hit this bookcase with an impact grenade, you will actually take it completely out, the assets removed from the map, and it actually puts some holes in the soft wall behind it, giving you some other views of that area.
And they can hit the wall now. They definitely did hear the smoke upstairs, and Jonas will get one, Fabian with the second, and this is all falling apart way too quickly here for Mocket. It's just coordination very much lacking for the squad.
This one's a very common mirror window trick used in the Pro League. If you watch the Pro League, you'll see this from time to time. And basically what it is putting a mirror window low down on a soft wall, but then blowing out the wall above the mirror window. And it's got a number of advantages which aren't at all obvious at first sight. So firstly, you get quite a lot of good protection behind that mirror window, even though the wall is soft. If you crouch down, you are going to be near impossible for the enemy attacker to shoot you. Now, it is true that they could shoot below the mirror window into the soft wall and potentially hit you in the legs or the feet, but it's a very hard angle for the attacker to hit, particularly when you bear in mind that you have a massive advantage over them in that you can see them through the mirror window, and then you can pop up from the crouch position and just instantly take them out. The angle of firing down into the soft part of that wall is very tricky to get some good hits on the person behind it, and also you have to gauge where they are. You've got to bear in mind that the actual mirror window itself is of course bulletproof. The other clever parts about this setup are that obviously you're able to vault over it, so it's giving you and the other defenders a chance to rotate around the objective. Also, by setting it up like this, you're basically stopping Twitch drones coming from one direction, being able to get round to the canister on that mirror window and take it out, because there isn't any gap underneath the wall. And you get a very good variety of angles from this position to stop all different breaches, to be able to launch nitro cells, to be able to launch the smoke canisters if you're playing as smoke. So it definitely is a very advantageous setup that you should consider using.
Swift on their attacks. They've been practicing and working towards faster executes, and first round plays for them tend to be a...
This one is basically just a clever little spot being used by Crying of Mocket in the meeting hall of the Oregon map. So he's basically able to cover one of the entrances into that meeting hall from the main entrance area, And I will say this, it's very clever because the sandbags to the right of that upturned table are going to offer you some really good protection from returned fire from any attacker coming through that doorway. Also, if you look at this angle from the attacker's perspective, it would be very hard to counter a defender in this position unless they were already aware of that defender being there. This little tip is something you might be able to get away with once when you're playing on the map, but if you try it too many times, they will come up with a way of getting you out of there. But like I say, this is a very useful little position to try out, and just to get a good cheeky angle on that doorway.
Time left to even attempt a reset here really on Nyx. They're going to have to go in guns blazing here. There's again a second impact made to stop those. It's working out quite well.
Okay, so moving over to Oregon now, and here we see a clever little trick for defending the mirrored window looking into a laundry room. England is playing a smoke, watching through that mirror window, and to stop Hibana opening it up, he uses an impact grenade against the cabinet, with the splash damage actually taking off those Hibana X Kairos charges. This is a great little tip. It's a very popular bomb site to defend, and if you find yourself here with the mirror window watching that area on the stairs and the hatch as well, be sure to pick an operator with impact grenades, because then you are going to be able to stop the attackers opening up that window and just keep you safe.
Without marker, you could forget where the pulse was, or in case your hand was shaking, you might not hit him. Oregon, which will do wonders if playing on laundry and having a person playing in alley, or rotated back to the side. The threat for this isn't as big as you think, as there is usually a rotation between attic and bedrooms already. Yes, you're pretty much safe against the fireballs.
Now let me see you lean and rock with it like a boss. Now let me see you lean and rock like a boss. Like a boss.
Stunted. One of them has pushed into dining. It looks like it is the Hibana. They're going to have to try and go for this execute with 10 seconds to go. Plenty is going down, but it can be denied here.
No way. Is he going for it? He goes for the run out of rotate. He takes down one player, but the plan goes down. This is a huge oversight potentially. But there's the retakes from Aerowolf. They close out that round and win the half 5-1. The studio for once.
Well and truly open, and make sure you've droned out the top floor. And it doesn't hurt to have someone covering you. On games when I have tried this, I've taken Rob playing as Hibana, so that a couple of the flashbangs can get thrown down through the hole first to clear out any ADS systems. But give this a try, see how it works out for you. Potentially try it in a custom game first and then take it into the real game. But yeah, really, really cheeky little
first spot, guys, this is a brand new hiding spot located over on Oregon. It's located in the kitchen on the first floor. What this spot allows you to do is get up on those little microwaves in the corner. Now what you have to do here is shoot a couple of holes in the cover on the wall. Impact that whole unit off the wall in front of you. Now once you've done that, make a small hole in the wall leading through into the bathroom. Once you go through into the bathroom, turning around, there's a very specific spot on the side of the wall. You'll be able to get a ball up on top of the counter. By walking across the top of the boxes of the tomatoes, you'll be able to get up into that corner on top of the microwaves. Now a lot of enemies pushing through that side of the map will think that that wall is just a rotation created by a roamer, but they will be in for a big surprise when they push in and drone it out, not seeing anybody, and you can catch them out and get that early pick in the round.
The mute, but it's gonna have to be within the radar jammer's distance, and we're gonna be showing you exactly how to do this right now. The mute one is gonna be towards the end of the video, and it is much harder than the bandit. And then even in between, I'm gonna show you an awesome strategy and way to attack this spot when you are playing on the map Oregon. So honestly, it's as easy as you just saw. All you have to do is be doing this on an area where you can.
Number 4. Ever wondered how to get the perfect score in the Oregon in laundry? FaCkaZ and Team Liquid will have a word with you. Once you activate your stone cave and turn around or any other planter or unit of the animation, that means that they will succeed the plan. However, you can put impact nearest them to make sure that they use the damage and you stop the plan. 7. Shout out to Stevie for finding this one. You can destroy the 2 outside cameras by spawning on the construction side. 3. An extremely useful drone spot on the next ESL map can be found on the Oregon, watching whole lobby.
But you can implement this on other maps as well. I may take a look at some of the other spots that you can utilise this on, but by playing as Maestro, you can pretty much defend the hatch from the room above. I'm fairly confident a lot of people may already know this, but it's a tip that I don't see being utilised very much. Obviously, Maestro is very, very good at denying the plant, and attempting to deny the plant at least. But he's also very good at denying the actual hatch opening, so if you can concentrate on stopping them from even getting through the hatch, that's a lot of time wasted and a lot of utility on the attacking side that could be burnt through. By opening the floor in the master bedroom and placing this on the wall, I've reinforced it just so that it can't be easily taken out by a buck or something, just by taking out the wall, or even, anyone just shooting through the wall. For tip number 2, we're going to head on over to Oregon. Now this is going to focus more on Valkyrie. I see a lot of people trying to protect this master bedroom by hiding the cameras in all sorts of the drawers and the wardrobe. But if you utilise this light just under here, you lie down and throw it up inside of the light, it disappears to anyone that is standing and pretty much to anyone that's crouching. It's very, very difficult to see. But you can see so much of the room from the camera itself. You can see obviously the waist down of most people, and that's all you need. That is all the information you need. You can ping them. I wouldn't suggest it because it's going to give away that there's a camera in there. But the intel you can gain from this is phenomenal. You can see if they're pushing a small little cupboard to try and open the main wall. You can just get so much info. So I really, really like utilising this camera. Now the good thing about this is not the only light on the map that you can do this on, and I'm fairly confident that I've seen these lights on other maps. Over in the kids' dorms, you can utilise this lampshade here, and that does exactly the same sort of thing. You can see anyone that's rappelling up onto the big windows. Or alternatively, if you are forced to defend the kitchen dining room, there is also another one downstairs there, and you can just lie down, throw your camera up inside of it, and you can see anyone that is trying to push into the dining area. Even if people are still stuck outside and they've not quite pushed in yet, you can gain information from that by looking out through the single door. They are not going to see it from there, and this is just, it's a really cheeky little spot that just, I don't think anyone's going to really notice it because you don't look for it.
А чтобы выбивать из детской, очень удобно залазить на трос и тем самым простреливать эту самую детскую, потому что как бы не шился диван, но вот эту самую детскую можно прострелить, особенно по информации, если противник стоит на дефолте, обычно на вот этой позиции. То есть можно на нежданчик сделать парочку прострелов. Имейте это в виду.